What up, guys? I'm former UFC fighter and current owner of Easton Training Center, Elliot Marshall.
I'm Scott Nickel, teaching pastor at Flatirons Community Church.
Scott, am I fucking going to hell?
Yes.
Welcome to the Saint
And the Sinner.
All right, let's do this. Hey, so welcome to the Flatirons Men's Retreat edition of Saint and the Sinner. So this is your first official
Damn, bro.
church
You got me to go to church? I'd never been to church before. That was my first... No, I've been to church once. I've been to church one time with my wife's grandparents because they wouldn't understand why I wouldn't go to church, right?
Yeah.
And Renee and I sat in the back and played hangman.
What kind of church was it?
I don't know, man. One where the men sit on one side and the women sit on the other.
Really?
Yeah. Some crazy church in Texas.
Really?
Yeah. And so we sat in the back and played hangman, and I would just wrote the most obscene words. I was like cunnilingus and all kinds of stuff.
Did you sit on opposite sides?
No,
though?
man. For some reason, if you're not participating,
Yeah.
then they serve you lunch afterwards.
Huh.
It was-
Like a church potluck.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Someplace in Texas.
So, so you've been to you never went to church at all growing up then? Never once. But your dad was raised
Yeah.
Christian.
So I went to church in funerals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But never like a service.
Not a service.
No.
So really, in all honesty, aside from your strange experience
In Texas.
Flatirons several months ago when I got you to come the first time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So now here you are. You're doing
yeah.
work for the
I'm
church.
doing work for the Lord, man. I'm doing work for the Lord.
Yeah. So just so everybody knows, you were gonna come up to the retreats, and your wife's birthday is one of the weekends, and so you made a wise decision to decline because you need to participate in her birthday activities and things of that nature.
Because for your wife, it's a weekend, right? It's not just her birthday. You know, it's like this weekend thing. Normally, she likes to go to Hawaii for her birthday.
That's a big
one. That's a big
ask.
one. You know.
Yeah.
So this year, this is funny for her birthday, right? So she's like, "What are we doing?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What are we doing?" I was like, "What do you know?
What do you want to do?
What do you want to do?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "I don't know. We're normally in Hawaii, so what could we do?" And I'm like,
in other words, you better up your game.
like, "You want me to get like Hawaii level here?"
Yeah. You
and then she's like, "Well, you know, you've never done these things we've never done these things for my birthday before." I was like, "Bitch, you know."
What does that mean?
In my head, I was like, "It's because we're normally in Hawaii."
I don't have to do anything.
I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, what do you want me to do?"
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "You're in paradise.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday."
Yeah, every day.
So
yeah, women tend to sometimes take a longer look at their birthday, like it's a week.
Yeah.
You know, it's
my birthday week.
Yeah. Yeah, and my kids try to do that too. I've noticed. Like they will say, have your kids ever tried to say it's their half birthday?
Dude, oh my God! See, I don't even want to talk about this. My wife tried to do a half birthday for my son once.
Oh,
I was like, "You want to have a party, babe?" I was like, "Fine, we can have a party. We can have people over,
Sure.
but there will be no presents."
And don't call it a half birthday.
Yeah, don't call it a half birthday.
Yeah.
Like, we can have a party.
Yeah. Short putt to raising an entitled child.
Yeah.
Give them half birthdays. You know, so that's free advice for all.
And
the
she
guys out
starts going off like, "You know, his birthday is in Christmas, so we can't do anything fun outside." You know, I'm like, "He'll make it.
there. Yeah.
He'll make it just fine."
Yeah.
You know, he gets to have his birthday and Christmas within 2 weeks of each other. So yeah.
Yep. Eli's birthday's in February, and so he tried to convince us that we should celebrate a half birthday so he could do fun outside stuff for his birthday. I'm like, no, bro, sorry.
We can have a party.
Yeah, let's see.
I don't mind having a party. You want to have some people over?
Yeah.
I'll make some food.
Yeah.
Right? I'll even get a cake. It just can't say happy birthday on it. And you can't. We want decorations, whatever. Who cares?
Presents.
No presents.
We're not singing to
no
him
happy
either.
birthday. No nothing. Right? You want to have a party? Let's have a party.
That's right. So anyway, you couldn't come up to the retreat because of her birthday and stuff. So I totally applaud your willingness to come up to a church retreat in the mountains with a bunch of Christians. That has to sound a little bit intimidating. Like you had to have a moment of like, wait a second, what might they do to me up there? Or did that even give you pause because you're a cage fighter?
I don't worry.
I say cage fighter a lot, but
Yeah.
I don't think most people use that phrase anymore.
No.
MMA fighter. So it didn't even give you
If
pause.
if you are going to ask me what if in that realm, I don't like MMA fighter and I don't like cage fighter and I don't like pro fighter.
What do you like?
Because for all three of those things, you only have to do it once,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I fought in the UFC.
Okay.
Right?
So UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what all of us would prefer.
Right.
If you're going to label us,
Right.
you know?
Well, I like to categorize, label, and generalize.
Yeah, like if
people.
you're going to say someone, like you don't say someone played football. You said, hey, that guy played in the NFL.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And then
That's
it
true.
takes on this new,
That's true.
you know?
All right. I'll try to work
That's
on
just
that.
for my own personal ego.
I'll try to
'Cause
work on that.
I'm an egotistical bastard.
Big black cage fighter.
That's
Can I
right.
say that?
What's that?
Is that just big black cage
You
fighter?
have to add the Jew in there too.
Big black Jewish cage fighter.
Yeah.
That's a pretty lengthy descriptive. Yeah. So everybody knows you.
Yeah.
Your dad's African American.
Uh-huh.
Your mom is white and
Yep.
Jewish.
Yep.
And but you grew up not going to church at all.
Never.
Yeah. All right. So you came to Flatirons once, and so this is your first church work and all that kind of good stuff. And so if people want to know about how we became friends and all that, they can
Watch
hear
other
that
episodes.
story,
Yeah,
watch
sure.
another episode and all that kind of thing. So the first question we wanted to hit is, so what is it that's led you to a point in your life? You didn't grow up going to church
Yep.
or anything, so you didn't get handed a faith. Did you get handed anything? Like were you handed atheism?
No.
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 I didn't think so.
No. And I wanted, like, as a little kid, my mom, so my 4-year-old asks a ton of questions
Yeah.
about God, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
He's a smart kid.
Yeah. Yeah. And my mom says that I did too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, obviously, like, I had this belief in a God, and and as much as I argue with you about God, I won't say that I don't believe that there isn't a God.
Right.
Right? I just believe that yours and every other one that we've been introduced to is untrue.
It's wrong.
Yeah. You know? I can't tell you what started all of this. So what was the question again?
Well, so why do you not believe in God, or why have you?
Why do I not believe in God? I've been shown zero evidence for there to be a belief in a higher power.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe that you can try to link things, you know, but then you also have to link these other terrible things as well, right? If there's this all-powerful, controlling being of the universe, right? You can't just link the great stuff that happens, like the miraculousness and it all goes to him then. And
The bad stuff too.
The bad stuff too.
Yeah.
Like the awful stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And no religion is willing to take on that.
Yeah.
You know? They won't damn God as well, because terrible things happen, right? Stars explode and worlds blow up. You know? So he must have done all of that too. He must be destroying the universe. Our sun is going to explode. It's just the facts of the
Do they
matter.
explode, or do they just burn out?
They
and
burn,
then
and then
explode?
you know, and then sometimes they create a black hole, like whatever they're going to do, right? This is going to happen to us too.
Right.
We're nowhere near that happening.
Right.
Right. We're still they're estimating 4 to 5 billion years away from that.
Right.
You know, so but if he created us, then he also this is happening.
Right.
So we've got to give him the destruction of the universe as well, which. I don't know why you would create something for its destruction.
So for you, that all powerful and all good,
All good,
problem.
all knowing. I can't get over that.
Yeah.
And all of I'm going to say that's the religious books. Their facts are wrong in the beginning. There's how every book says this is how the earth was created, yada yada yada, and it's just wrong.
Does the Quran try to say how the earth was created?
I think the Quran does use the Old Testament a little bit too.
Yeah, there's some of that.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think Christianity is rather unique in that.
Well,
that
Judaism
spectrum.
too.
Well, of course.
You know?
Yeah. Christianity, Judaism. Yeah. So aside from lack of evidence, is there any other factors you can attribute
Why
to?
I don't believe in God?
Right.
No, so all the other stuff I don't think so. All the other stuff that I argue, like what the bad things that people do in the name of religion and yada yada, that has nothing to do with its truth or not.
Right.
Right? Like it still might all be true, you know? But they use it badly.
Yeah.
You know? It's why I don't like it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hold any water in the is it true or not? Because just because something is true doesn't mean I have to like it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It can be true. So just not a single fact. There's not a shred of evidence, nothing. It's all based on a feeling that we get and what things that we couldn't understand thousands of years ago that we are coming to understand. And I just believe that we're going to understand a lot in the next 4 billion years before this has all gone away.
Do you think that'll lead to knowledge of some sort of higher power?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Aliens?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. The other day we were having breakfast and Jay just totally dropped the bomb. He's like, "In my lifetime." That was the big. That was the big
crazy.
qualifier.
In my lifetime.
Yeah. Jay's our.
I know, but
one
you
of our
guys,
producers of Satan Center.
but your team is like this, right? Because there's a large percent of the Christian culture, the Christian group, that thinks Jesus is coming back in their lifetime too, right? And it's always been this way. We're gonna see the second coming, and it's gonna be da 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 da, and it's not happening.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what it will take for anybody
So
to
far.
actually believe that it's Jesus.
So, what does that have to do with Jay and aliens?
Well, in my lifetime thing.
Oh, yeah, that's a big qualifier.
Yeah, that's a big qualifier.
Yeah, it is. That's putting it out
huge.
there.
That's huge.
Yeah, Jay thinks we're going to discover life on other planets in his lifetime, which, I mean,
I hope he's not dead today because he'd be wrong.
Yeah, yeah, we'd be like, Jay, we owe up. Yeah, that would be far less startling, though, if it's just some sort of like germ. I mean, that'll be amazing scientifically, but it just won't be as exciting like cinematically.
The science people will go off.
The science people will go crazy.
They'll go off. They'll be like, ah.
Yeah, the movie people will be like, does it kill anybody? You know, does
Sure.
it
Is it
somehow,
coming here?
Does it invade
Is it
us
going to come in and try
somehow?
to blow us up like Independence Day?
Right.
And then a drunk asshole who's
Yeah.
abducted saves us? That's what we want.
Independence Day is one of those movies that if it's on, I kind of have to stop and watch for a few minutes. And it's
What other
not,
movies is that for you?
It's not good. Well, definitely The Godfather.
For a minute.
Any
right?
of them except for the third
one.
I don't have to watch the third one. Any Rocky movie except the fifth one. Really anything, any of Sylvester Stallone stuff, Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff, any martial arts kung fu movie, I'm stopping on.
Shawshank?
Have to stop.
Have
and
to.
I'll watch more than a few minutes
I'll
of
watch
Shawshank.
the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I even own it.
Yeah,
and I
I
even
do too.
put it on my computer. I
I
can
do
watch
too.
it at any time, right?
The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
I'm not a The Patriot fan. I didn't think it was that good.
Oh, I like that.
Gladiator.
Gladiator for sure.
You're going to destroy me on this one. Are you ready? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
What?
I love that movie.
Oh my gosh, our friendship's in jeopardy.
I absolutely love How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Who's in that?
Matthew McConaughey and
Some
her
chick, obviously,
what's
because
the
it's a
blonde
chick
chick's
flick.
name? Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson. Huh? Is it because she's pretty?
What's that?
She's attractive, and
She's
or is it-
attractive, but
are
she has
you-
no tits, right? So
Matthew
like
McConaughey is more
it's
attractive,
Not, it's
maybe.
not like you're like, oh wow, she's got big tits and like they hang out a little bit, so you're like,
Yeah,
oh, watch
it's
that.
it's a PG
Yeah.
movie, isn't
Am I
it?
allowed to say this on a religious podcast like
You
this?
can- you
Okay,
can say whatever
I'm
you
good
want.
to go.
Yeah,
All right,
we're
sweet.
not filtering or editing,
All right.
so well, I'm sure we'll get some people who
Sure.
not be happy, but that's okay.
Yeah, people
So,
didn't like my f-bombs in the first episode.
Yeah.
Well,
that-
half didn't, half didn't.
Yeah, there was one lady
Yeah.
who's like an older lady from Jersey. Who's like, you people don't understand. That's just normal sentence structure.
I went with them. People were like, "Man, that reminded me that I need to say the f-bomb more."
It's an effective tool at times, I think. All right, so lack of evidence, and then there's a whole bunch of other contributing factors. But you aren't one of those people who's like, well, because Christians do this, I don't believe in your God.
No, because let's use
You
the
may not
example.
like
I love Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Right.
And I believe it is effective.
Right.
And I believe that it is a great way. What it teaches you is a great way to lead your life.
Right.
There are assholes that do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu,
Right.
and there are people that suck at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
And do it wrong.
So it doesn't mean that it's incorrect.
Right. Cool. So for me, from the evidence standpoint, where I go with this kind of thing, like, the design equals designer thing. When I see, there is a subjective part that, we've talked about before. When I sit on a mountain or I look at the ocean and things like that, I just go, there's got to be more than this. And there is a point where we all go back to and we go, we don't know for sure, what happened. I can't prove there's a God. You can't prove there's not a God. We both have admitted that before, So for me, though, the preponderance of the evidence all points to a designer or a creator. When I see creativity, I think that there must have been a creator. I won't say assume because you yelled at me for saying assume that one time. an ass out of you and me thing. So childish.
Yeah,
So.
it was right there for you. Just
Yeah.
Easy. That was low hanging fruit.
Order
man.
doesn't. Yeah, I know. Order doesn't arise from disorder, and so we see this incredibly orderly universe and our bodies and all that kind of thing. And so I go to, if I take a deck of cards and just throw them out there, they don't arrange themselves in suit. 2 through ace. They don't fall that way. So somebody has to do that arranging. Something has to do that. And so when you go just on a sheer evidence standpoint, I feel like all of creation really kind of screams and points towards a creator. And the thing that's interesting to me is you still have that same sense of like overwhelming, awe, and you get overwhelmed when you see the ocean. You're not like, well,
I get a feeling.
Yeah, you get a feeling. You get the subjective thing. You don't go like, well, this is just molecules and things like that. You don't think in those terms. You think in the same terms I do in some respects. So, yeah. So the
only thing I would say real fast to your
ahead.
deck of cards thing.
Yeah.
Right. If you threw them enough times, it would.
Yeah, but
one of those times it would. So look at all the universe and look at how many stars are out there, right? And they all have planets around them. We haven't gotten there yet. So this goes back to Jay's whole life thing.
The life thing,
right? We don't know, right? So far of the millions and millions of stars that we have found, there's no life. We still have billions more to go.
Yeah.
But we're like 1 in a million right now, or 1 in 30 million. So you throw out a deck of cards 30 million times, please don't, because we'll never talk again. I do think that the probability, there is
the stars aligned.
They will align.
Yeah.
It will go ace through. There is a mathematical probability to it. It's 1 choose 52 times 52. Like
don't start dropping math
right.
on me.
I'll do the donut problem for you.
Yeah. Elliot was a math major, and
so there is a probability to it, and there is a number that we get, and it's less than the stars that we have.
Yeah.
So
we hit the lottery.
We hit the lottery
really well.
Yeah, people hit it.
Well.
People hit it. People hit it.
Speaking of, I watched The Leftovers episode 4 last night or something like that, where the guy, the pastor or priest guy, has to go play roulette and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, roulette's the worst way to do that, man.
But he did it, man.
He did it, yeah.
He did it.
Inside talk. Sorry, everybody.
I'm not. What episode was that?
4, I think.
No, that was 3.
Was it 3? Yeah, that's right. That was 3, and then I watched 4, and then I started falling asleep. I can never watch 2 episodes. I start falling asleep. But if I start anything after 9 o'clock, I fall asleep.
Are you gonna watch 5 today?
Yeah.
All right, call me.
Oh, really? All right, I'll call you. You have that look on your face as if this episode is somehow gonna.
Just call me. I don't want to ruin you. I don't want to ruin anything for you.
All right. So the second question would be this, and this is one of the big philosophical debates that atheists and believers of any sort always get into, which is, where do you think morality comes from? And you've been kind of studying some of this stuff lately, and I'm reading Sam Harris's book, The Moral Landscape, right now, and so I'm withholding my comments on this book. I think I'm going to write a review of it.
Okay.
There's probably been a bunch written, though, so I might not waste my time.
Yeah.
If somebody's written one that I think is good, maybe I'll just post that.
So I go back and forth, and I'm not even sure of my own answer sometimes, right? I am 100% sure it doesn't come from religion. That is one thing that...
Is that different for you than saying it doesn't... So it doesn't come from religion. Does it come from God?
No.
Okay. All right.
No. So, because God committed mass genocide, in my opinion, right? Like, God has wiped out the entire earth.
Right.
Or maybe he saved the Jews on Passover, right? Like, he's done some evil things. And so, which I'd be okay with if he wasn't supposed to be all good, right? And I would be okay with if he didn't create it all. So the creating it all, so where I get the problem with the religion and the God is the creating it all, knowing that you created me flawed, and then punishing me for it. Right. This just doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, that's a fun game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great. Like, watch this. I'm gonna fuck this kid up.
Right.
Like my own child.
Right.
I would never create him flawed.
Right.
And to say that you create something, and to say that we're all full of sin, I just don't get that, because I've seen my kids come out, and they don't look very sinful to me.
They're gross looking for sure.
They're gross looking.
Yeah, they're lizard-like.
Yeah, you know, they're not. But I don't believe that they've been made with bad in them.
Right.
And it's the only way that you guys can go. They have to be, because we're created with sin.
Well, you do have different. You have different perspectives on that.
And so, like,
religious perspective.
Like, morally, is it okay for me when a really good-looking girl walks by, you know, like, and I go, wow, that's great. She's really good-looking. I would love to have sex with her.
Right.
But now it's on me to hold this back. And I don't believe that thought is sinful or evil.
Right.
Right? There's nothing wrong with that thought. That is 100% how we are made men, right? And it's the only reason that all of us are here. Because if that thought didn't come through every male's mind, right? There would be no procreation. As the mass scale.
Man, but think about what our world would look like for a little while.
What's that?
We'd get so much done.
Yeah, for sure. You know, but,
and then we'd all die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the human species wouldn't be around without that thought.
Yep.
So we're here because of it.
Yeah.
You know. So for you to then for religion to then say that is sinning, you know, I believe is wrong. Okay. And for religion to say that gay people are sinning. They're not sinning, you know. This isn't immoral. It's how like, man, you don't become gay. Let me tell you, we just joked about it, you know, about being black.
Oh yeah.
No one fucking chooses to be black.
Right.
If you gave everybody the choice, right? And they lived in America,
right?
White male, homie.
Right.
You know,
it's the way to go.
White male, it's the way to go.
Yeah.
For sure.
I still am holding out hope to be black one day. For me, growing up, it was I wanted to be able to do my hair like black guys, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, cause Theo Huxtable, it goes back to him. He always had a different haircut all the time.
A little box, box with a little bit of it cut out.
Yeah, with the little Bobby Brown thing going on and everything. I wanted that back in the day.
Yeah, I always wanted to be able to have long hair and like have a wavy hair.
And I was a white kid with calyx, so I had the waves, man. And so we should have just swapped, I guess. But, so you don't think that God and religion can be the source of morality, but at the same time, you know, you have morals, like you have standards that you want to live up to. So where do those come from?
Most of them come from societal things. Some of them come from evolutionary things. Like we you know, and some of them, I think there's something innate in our brains. You know, there's something in us that goes, this isn't good. Because when you do something bad, you get a feeling. Right? And whether you continue to do it or not is another question. But you do get this, like, kind of like when you look at the ocean, you're like,
guilty conscience.
Something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nobody told me to get that. I wasn't. You just, it's there. You know?
It's kind of self-evident.
It's kind of self-evident. And yeah, I just don't go to the God thing. I don't understand how God can be the moral dictator when he has created all this terribleness.
Yeah. The society thing's not where you want to throw all your chips in, though. I know that because, I mean, society could decide one day, you know, we could vote. You know, we could. What if we did actually vote, which has happened in some places that. Well, no. Here, let's use this example because you sent me this this email the other day of this crazy pastor who has he wants to amend the Constitution to make it illegal to be gay.
Yeah, you know, 10 years in prison.
Yeah, 10 years in prison, all that kind of thing. So if he got momentum,
and I thought your response, I thought your response was great. Yeah, sure, jail. I'm sure that's going to cure the gays.
yeah, that'll do it. So let's say that he got momentum and everybody.
Send them to a place where they can only bang each other.
Right. Hey guys, thanks for punishing us.
It's only dudes. Here you go. Big black guy with a big old dick to come have sex with me. Yes. This is what I've been waiting for.
So let's say he got momentum though, right? And we amended the Constitution and that became the case. Like it's illegal. You would say that's immoral, right?
That gays went to jail for being gay? Yeah, for sure.
So you would say that, but if society determined that was the way to go, you would still say, no, that's wrong. Even though society determined it.
Yeah, and we might get there. Who knows? So what is society does play a big role. right? Because it used to be moral to kill people for their religious beliefs, and it was fine, right? So this is another reason I don't know how you get there, right? Because all of societies have killed people for their religious beliefs, right? And they have accepted your Lord and Savior, so they're good. They're in heaven with God and right, you know? But they killed masses, and I'm not talking war. I'm talking, you don't believe what I believe, cut your head off.
Kill you, yeah.
Right? And they're in heaven.
Well, yeah, I mean,
yes, right?
Not necessarily.
Well, if they
don't
believe,
know.
No, if they believe, if they accepted the Lord and Savior.
Well, yeah, I mean, if somebody is a authentic follower of Jesus and they accepted what he did for them on the cross, then no matter what they've done in their lifetime or what they do,
rape children, all those Catholic priests, they're good, right? Yeah. They're good, huh? You're gonna hang out with those motherfuckers. You're gonna hang out with those motherfuckers. Just know just know where you're gonna be.
I don't like being judge and jury on people, but I will say that when you see people who are grossly misrepresenting the faith that they claim to follow, and doing things that are totally misrepresentative of who Jesus is, and the Bible that they say that they follow, that's probably a very good indicator that they're not actually followers of Jesus.
Okay, so then let's just move it a little bit, right? Because you can move this scale, right? Because you can move the scale to going, you were a rapist and a murderer, right? You raped multiple amounts of little boys. Right? Multiple, and then you killed them, and you destroyed their whole lives. Yeah. You destroyed their whole family's life, and now you have this Lord and Savior that's going to say that this is okay, but yet me, who's for all intents and purposes, let's just call it good. Yep. I'm not great. Right. I'm not perfect. Right. But I'm screwed, and this guy over here is good, man. Yeah. He's going to go to heaven and just live in paradise, and whether that be the heaven of 72 virgins or whether that be yours, right? And because I don't want, for those of you that haven't watched The Saint and the Sinner yet, I don't want you to think that it's only Christianity that I think is ludicrous. I am equal opportunity. They are all as ludicrous as every other one, So, yeah, I don't understand how that's okay, how that leads to any morality whatsoever. Because the morality for me that leads to, and we've discussed this before, is I can do whatever the hell I please. I just better be really, really, really sorry at the end.
Yeah, it's the Jeffrey Dahmer argument of,
And Hitler's the better example.
Well, but people say that Dahmer became a Christian.
But we can just assume that Hitler maybe did too. We can make that assumption, and he would be good. Hitler would be good.
He would, either way, you did these horrible, atrocious things, and at the end of your life, you could just, pray a prayer or whatever, and it all gets
I'll even let them really see the light. Yeah. They don't have to fake it. Right. Right? Right. I'll even let them really see it. If they don't have to just say it to be for the hell of it. Right. I'll let them. Let's assume that they truly now do believe in Jesus as their Lord.
Yeah, and this goes back to that the grace thing. That's really unique to Christianity. That says God doesn't say it's okay. God says I'll pay for it. God says I'll punish Jesus in your place for what you deserve to be punished for. Sure. And if you don't accept what Jesus did in your place, then God doesn't say it's all good. He says it's all actually very bad. It's punishable, So God doesn't sweep anything under the rug and say it's all good. It's either punished because Jesus paid for it or that person pays for it, So there's big chunks of the Bible. Hang on one second. There's big chunks of the Bible that are dedicated to saying don't use grace as permission to go on sinning. So don't do the thing that goes, it doesn't matter what I do, so I'll just go do whatever I want. And the reality is that people who have had and are real authentic followers of Jesus don't look at that as an opportunity to abuse grace. They look at it as an opportunity to be grateful.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I'm not saying they do, but you can.
You certainly can.
You certainly can. So how that? So I don't think that most people are bad. Right? Yeah. So most people aren't psychopaths. Right. Most people aren't mass murderers. Right. Right? They aren't any of these things. Right. Right? So they don't want to do these things. They get the same feeling that you and I do when you do bad things, because we all do them sometimes. You're like, God, that was not the right thing. Right. Right. Like you get the same feeling. The psychopaths don't. The psychopaths, it actually brings them pleasure. Right. Right? So we don't want these things. So we don't sin intentionally when these guys do.
You don't think we sin intentionally?
I think when given...
You never just go, I know this is wrong, but I'm going to do it anyway?
Oh, I might.
Yeah.
But if I had more time to think about it, I wouldn't.
Yeah. So
You know?
when it's impulsive or whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess what I would say too is that thing where you go, there's something in us that goes, this is wrong, you know, call it conscience, whatever you want to call it, you know, that self-evident thing.
Yeah.
That's where I always go, yeah, that's God.
That's
God
where you
put
make
us-
this big leap.
God,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think it's that big of a leap though, because morality demands an authority. So when you say,
It doesn't.
but when you say moral authority, there's a reason why you have to appeal to something else. So if me and you are sitting here, you know, I'm stealing your stuff and you're saying, stop it, you know, and I go, why? You have to then appeal to some sort of moral authority.
Because so now this is where I get to evolution a little bit. Because it doesn't lead to the prolonging of the species.
But that's still the authority that you're appealing to, is what I'm saying. So, like,
so
you're gonna
evolution's
appeal,
my authority?
So you're going to appeal to, evolutionarily speaking, this is not better for us.
This is not better. We will kill each other.
That's your authority.
We will kill each other.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I think science can and will explain it in many ways. And even when we haven't gotten there yet, right? Like, so I'm fine with not knowing. And I feel like you guys, the religious team, isn't fine with not knowing. And you put your stake, you put your claim in all of these ideas, right? And then a good amount of the time, you get proven wrong, and then you start to have to come around on them. Evolution being one, the creation of the earth being another, all of these things, right? Like how old the earth is, right? If it was 100 years ago, you would think the earth is young, as would I.
Actually, that's not true. That's been a real weird ebb and flow. So if you go back to people like Augustine, you know, who are a few hundred years after Jesus, they actually said
it was,
we don't know.
We don't know, right?
Yeah.
But for the majority of people were saying, right?
In the modern era in America, you get a lot of that.
Everywhere,
Yeah.
everywhere, not just America, right? I mean, and you know, one of my big things is evolution.
Yep.
Right? So before Darwin, right, there was no reason at all to think that people came. It's me, sorry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but it's on silent.
It's all good.
You know, there was no reason at all to think that we evolved. Like, this wasn't even a term.
Right.
Everyone accepted God as most.
Sure.
When you say everyone, of course,
Generalities,
you know, accepted that it was God.
Yeah.
And now at least we got it to 50%.
Yeah.
I don't understand why we only have it to 50, but
it takes time.
yeah, I'm glad we're going in the right direction though.
I think one of the things, and I got into this discussion with one of our listeners, and I really am enjoying Sam Harris's book, The Moral Landscape, because I applaud him on a couple things. I even quoted one of his things to go, man, I totally agree. He is not a moral relativist, and neither are you. And he's making his best, hardest
Explain
effort.
moral relativism to
So
everybody.
to go, what's good for you is what's good for you, and what's good for me is good for me. Let's just leave each other alone.
Right.
You know, it's all relative to whatever you think your truth is, and I think my truth is. It sounds really nice, especially down here in Boulder.
Right.
Until I walk down the street and go, you know what's good for me? To take that lady's purse.
Yep.
You know, and she goes, no, you can't. And I go, but that's my truth, and that's your truth, and hey, you know, who are you to tell me? You're being very intolerant. You know, you have to appeal to some sort of authority. You know, you have to go, no, that's not right, because why? Who says?
You saying intolerant made me remember something that I have wanted to address with you for a while.
I've been thinking about tolerance more lately too. So anyway, one of the
you were supposed to remind me Monday. Remember?
What?
IVF.
Oh yeah, we'll do it again. It's okay.
We can do it later. I'm going to ask you today.
All right, we'll talk about it today. But one of the discussion I got into with this guy's, and I'm watching this happen with Sam Harris as I'm reading his book. He is doing a lot of labor, hard labor, to try to prove that science can give us an answer to morality. You know, and I actually don't have any problem with him trying to do that. That doesn't bother me at all. It seems like that takes a very long time to arrive at, through experimentation and through trial and error and through doing some really screwed up things that don't turn out well, to go, oh, that was wrong, that was wrong, that was wrong, to arrive at the place that Jesus already was and is. So I had this discussion with the guy where I went, you can either take Jesus on his word that lust, you know, to use your example, is actually destructive, or you can wait until we can study the human brain and find out that pornography actually turns out to be this incredibly destructive thing that rewires your brain.
You just went to a whole, you went to a way different level with the porn, right? I'm just saying watching a girl walk down the street.
Right. So,
of course, porn is not okay for you.
So prior to the advent of the internet, what men could.
I got to take that back. I won't say all porn's bad.
Prior to the advent of the internet, what men could do is they could look, and then capture that and then imagine that and play that like a video in their brain.
And we do still.
Yeah, and what Jesus...
You do, and he does, and he does, and he does. We all do it, me too included. We all do it.
Right, and what Jesus is saying is that's actually really destructive. That's actually not healthy. That's not good.
I know, he's wrong.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that turns out Jesus was right.
No, he's not.
He was wrong. Yeah, he is, because that's... So
you wouldn't be here.
No, here's all the dudes. Now, you're taking it to a different place. You're talking about just attraction. So, like, I'm attracted to a woman. That's what drives me to want to procreate and all those kind of things. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you, as a married man or an unmarried man, either way, you mull that over in your brain over and over and over again. You imagine it. You imagine having sex with that woman over and over and over again in your brain. That actually becomes destructive towards not only your own brain, but also towards the relationship that you have with your own wife. I meet men all the time who, aside from pornography, just struggle with those thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And it's not healthy for their relationship with their wives. So what I'm saying is, you can do all this hard labor and work trying to arrive at how science can prove morality, or you can just appeal to the authority that's been revealed to us. It says, here's the way things work better. Here's the way things actually are. Here's what reality is. And you can save yourself a whole lot of pain and suffering by just submitting yourself to that authority, is what I would say.
So take the easy way out.
The better way out.
The easy way out.
If it's easier, great, but I'll take better every time.
The easy, because it's easy, right? How do I get good at so I'm relatively good at jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah, you're great at jiu-jitsu.
Haja Gracie is very good at jiu-jitsu. Haja Gracie is maybe the best jiu-jitsu guy that we've seen, right? What did he do, man?
A lot of hard work.
A lot of hard work.
Uh-huh.
A lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Because that is the truth that we have. I'm not saying that what you want, right? That you wanting to lust this woman and this happening in your brain and being like, oh my God, I really want to have sex with her.
Right.
Oh my God, I really want to have... Yes, that might be destructive to your marriage.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And that might be destructive to you being a better person.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I get it.
Right.
I'm not saying that it's not.
Right.
So do some hard work. Yeah. Because this is what makes us stronger.
Like, what do you mean, do some hard work?
Do some real soul searching and looking at yourself and going,
oh, yeah,
I am flawed. Right?
I'm not going to get any disagree. You're not going to get any disagreement.
How do I get better? And rather than take this easy way out with Jesus, right? Because it's the easy way out. I just go, Jesus made me this way. I'm going to accept him, right? And he will forgive me.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So no reason to improve because
no reason to improve.
Yeah.
Why do you go, man, I need to get better? Because I know for me as a person, and this is why I love jiu-jitsu so much, and this is why I loved fighting, right? And this is because I am an absolute pussy. I really am. If you would see me my whole entire life, I am scared, right? I am full of anxiety, right? I really am. Man, panic attacks in a hospital, all of this stuff, right? Fearful, just petrified. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and fighting taught me the greatest lesson in the world. And that lesson is to go into the mirror every day and go, let's get better.
Right.
Let's get better.
And Jesus doesn't tell you not to do that.
What's that?
Jesus doesn't tell you not to do that.
But he tells you that it's going to be okay if you don't, because I'm here for you, right? So take the crutch away.
Oh, I see.
Take the crutch away and really dig into what the problem is, right? And it's okay to be flawed. It's okay not to be good.
It's okay
right?
not to be okay.
It's okay to be sad. It's okay, man, when my mom dies or when my dad dies or, I am going to be a wreck.
Yep.
I'm going to be an absolute wreck. Like, man, this is terrible to say. If my child dies before me, which will be
it's everybody's
awful,
nightmare,
awful, right? It is going to crush me, but it will not end me. Because I know one thing, that I will look in the mirror and I at some point will start to get better.
Yeah.
Because I am willing to do the really, really, really hard work.
Yeah, and I guess this is what, this is a misunderstanding.
And I don't want to sound like I'm special. Sorry, I'm not special.
Oh, we're all,
what I mean?
All the guys listening to you right now will go, me too.
All
of them.
I'm not special.
Yeah.
I don't think that somebody's shown me this light, you know, and I don't have to believe in any supernatural, in my opinion, bullshit to go down this light path. I get to actually touch it.
Yeah.
And I don't have to have a feeling. It's evidence.
I get it. I always come in after I've taught on the weekends and I have things fresh in my brain. And this isn't my quote. This guy Dallas Willard said this. He said, "Grace is not opposed to effort; it's opposed to earning." So there's a difference. So grace actually produces the hard work that you're talking about. Grace isn't opposed to that hard work, soul searching. Let's get better. Because one of the big motivating factors with the example that we've been using is, I care about my wife and my relationship and my family, so I don't want to do something that's destructive to them. But what Jesus takes off the table is your salvation is not dependent on your ability to get there. So you can do all the hard work you want, man. Work. You know, we've talked about this before. I think Christians should be the hardest working people on the planet, both vocationally and internally, their own soul and all that kind of thing. What grace and Christianity is opposed to is to earning. You're never going to earn your way into God's favor. You're never going to earn your way into good standing with Him because He's perfect.
Okay.
No matter how hard you work, you may be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
You're still short of perfect.
Okay.
You know?
So this is going to go into this. This is where you just led me to, I think, the third question. What's the third question?
The third one is just what would you say? You know, what would you say to a bunch of Christian guys? You know, but most of the guys up there are going to be either Christians or thinking about it. You know,
what are you so afraid of? Why do you need to earn your way into anything?
No, I said it's opposed to earning.
Yeah, or what did you? Why do you need to get into anything? You've never seen a reason in your entire life that there's something after this.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
What are you so afraid of? Just be dead when it's all over. Just be dead. There's only one thing we've got. We've got this very second, right? We've got this very second. Yep. The past doesn't exist. It's just a thought currently. Yep. The future doesn't exist. Again, it's just a thought currently.
Right.
We can't even prove to ourselves that anything in the past has actually even happened.
Right.
We can't, right?
Yeah.
We have no clue. So what are you so worried about the future for? What are you so worried about your death for? Just sit here and do it, man. Don't be so worried about it. Just sit here and do it. And yes, there's morals. Yes, there's things that we should and shouldn't do. Right? Why are you so scared of dying? And this is where I think what the problem and the reason that so many people in this world won't come off the bullshit of the Bible in the beginning, right? I always come back to them, you know I do. Evolution, the creation of the world, all this stuff, right? Like Adam coming, man. If your book is wrong about the beginning, then maybe it's wrong about the end too. And now everyone gets real scared, right? Because it's really scary to think about no conscience, not being conscious.
Yeah.
This is very scary. I'm afraid too, don't get me wrong. That's where all of my anxiety that I just talked about comes from. It petrifies me, right? Like a bunch of people that I know just had somebody go to the doctor and get a 2-week fucking death sentence. Dying in 2 weeks. Oh my man. Yeah. I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of going to the doctor for that. Right. I'm like, how do you feel good one day, go in for a checkup, and then be told you're going to die within the next 2 weeks?
Right.
What the fuck?
Right.
I mean, I can see somebody who's laying on the sick bed going,
right.
It's going to be 2 weeks, man.
Right.
But you and me and these guys right here, 2
Right.
weeks, really?
Right.
I mean, we all look pretty good right now.
Right.
You know, I'm better looking than all of you.
Yeah, your hair's thinning, bro.
What's
your
that?
Your hair's thinning, man.
Oh, I've never told you the hair thinning thing, huh? Have I?
No.
I'm just a farther evolved species than you are.
We'll be hairless.
We'll be hairless.
Yeah,
What
I've
do you
heard
mean?
this.
But it's global
I've
warming.
heard this,
I mean,
yeah.
and I know your side doesn't like global
Oh,
warming
man,
either.
don't pin me down.
You know,
on
I
that
know,
stuff.
I know.
You
That's
that
how you
know.
guys roll. I know. That's
Build
all
up
not
your
true.
straw man and burn it down. Go ahead.
What's
All
that?
right. Build up your straw man and burn it down.
You guys are just good at not looking at evidence, actual real evidence, 100% truth, and going, nah. That's not true. It's not hard for you, right? It's not hard for you. Find me an atheist that doesn't believe in global warming. You're not going to find it. Because when you go, oh, look at those numbers. 1 + 1, 2. Shit. But you guys can go 1 + 1, 0. you know? But to get back to get off the joke, you know?
Yeah.
Why are you so afraid? And I understand
But
it
you are
because I am
too.
too.
You're saying you are.
I am too. But I'm not going to believe in some bullshit that has zero backbone of anything that actually might be true. And I'm not calling just your guys' bullshit. I'm calling them all bullshit. Right? Just so I can have 72 virgins in heaven.
That's not our bullshit.
I know. That's somebody else's bullshit.
Right.
I just wanted to use somebody else's bullshit.
Right.
And two, why the fuck do you want to have 72 virgins? That's going to suck.